What's up, y'all? Message to my Hawkeyes fans out there. So, we got to get serious, and you guys got to take me serious and hear what I'm saying. So, first off, if you don't know, this is RC Hawkeyes Bruins all day, UCLA all day, Hawkeyes. That's what it is. So, anywhere Elias Chavez goes, so that's Oklahoma. So that's a trio. But let's get down to it. Look, let's get down to it. Look, in 20 years, I had 3 McDonald's All-Americans. And that's got to change. You know, the frequency has to change. It looks promising. You know, we had a really great recruiting class last season. Even if it didn't always show in terms of playing time on the court for the young freshmen. But that was our best recruiting class in over 100 years. So you guys see set the 2 championship runner-up games aside for a moment. You guys see the ineptitude there. You know, put aside the Elite 8 run from a few years back, you know, Megan Gustafson, set those things aside and realize something, that we need to recruit well. Like, going into the portal is absolutely fine. Getting players like Lucy Olsen is absolutely fantastical. It's absolute excelente. It's great. It's gravy. It's awesome to get a Lucy Olsen from the transfer portal. It speaks to the impact that Caitlin Clark had, you know, getting Addison Deal. It speaks to the Caitlin Clark impact. These things are true. These things are real. You know, these things are honest. But guys, if we want to win the championship ever, at any point, it's going to take maximum talent. It's going to take elite prospects, which leads me to Addison Deal. You guys know we lost in the Sweet 16 this season to Oklahoma, and nothing to be ashamed of. It hurts. You know, both of my teams took a horrible L on their way out, Iowa and UCLA. You know, pain lessons by the day, you know. Don't nothing hurt like losing a national title. So, you know, I know that South Carolina has been over that mountain, but, you know, my sympathy's there, because don't nothing feel worse than losing right there when you had a chance to win it all. I know the pain. But Iowa fans, guys, we can only hope that the recruiting just continues to improve. We, you know, shout out to Coach Raina Harmon, who got the job at Florida Gulf Coast FGC. I just gotta stay focused out here. Can't get caught slipping. I'm gonna actually end this video shortly. You never want to be caught, you know, because you can't trust the people around you, and it really don't matter where you are. You can be in the best neighborhood in the world. You can be in freaking Beverly Hills. As you guys know, you got to watch your surroundings. You know that. So, I always know that. But, yeah, we can only hope that whoever Jan replaces Raina with, and Jan herself, continues to get top talent in. Because it's not good enough to just bring in Addison Deal. You know, as great as I think that she's going to be. You know, it wasn't great enough to just bring in Caitlin Clark. Like, and you can put them around impactful players that actually are, you know, fundamentally sound, play defense, that can shoot. Kate Martin was great. She made the league. I called it. Gabby Marshall, stand up, young lady, 3-point shooter, you know, defensive extraordinaire. And, you know, players like Monica Cesano, who was a post-impact player for us. You know, you look at McKenna Warnock. You know, you look at this past season, you know, with Lucy Olsen. But if it wasn't for Lucy Olsen, we would have been in big trouble. So all I'm saying is, you know, I love my Hawkeyes, man. I love my Hawkeyes to death, love them to life, and all that good stuff. But here's my issue. We simply... there's a talent discrepancy. Like, if we need to bring in somebody from the portal, and I know that we will, But we got to make big splashes. We just can't bring in a few players and say, oh, one or two players and say, oh, I hope it works out. No, next season we're gonna need points. We're gonna need definitive, guaranteed points. And Hannah Stokey has to show me something because I'm not sure if I'm convinced. I'm all brought into Ava Hayden. I'm getting ready to pull off. I ain't gonna pull off nowhere. The seatbelt gonna be going off like crazy if I pull off. Y'all know the seatbelts that just beep, 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 beep until you put it on. But yeah, I need right now. I'm all in on Ava Hayden after what she done showed me. So Hannah's got to prove herself, and I think it's only fair. Y'all give me a second here. All right, I'm good. But yeah, absolutely. The level has to be raised in terms of the standard that we hold this team too. Like, we love this team. We love what Caitlin did. We love what her teammates did. We love the fact that we all on the atmosphere. That we're an outstanding program, a university. But I think it's in terms of basketball now. But I think in terms of to keep it going, you got to keep the recruits going. You got to keep great players here, and that's another thing. Let's say Addison Deal. She has a fantastic freshman season, and so I don't see why she wouldn't. But what if we struggle? What if someone else sees that and jumps in and say, because coaches, other teams, they're scouting players. It's just a portal for you. It's always the what ifs. If somebody wants to leave, and you never know who's going to leave. It doesn't have to be a senior like Olivia Miles, a grad student, Tanaya Lotson, anybody could leave. So to wrap the video up, you just have to put the best product on the floor and try to keep, the great players and pieces on your team that you have, whether they're freshmen or seniors. So you got to try to go out there and win every game and remain competitive and show that you're building something that's going to last. Now, a natty game don't fall into nobody's lap. A national title falls into no one's lap. You got to put the work in. You got to put the effort in. You got to recruit. You got to, build bonds with the players, get them to trust in their teammates and vice versa. It's not easy, but look, got to start somewhere. And it starts with keeping talent in-house, and it starts with recruiting talent. The portal is amazing, but you have to recruit players, and I don't think it matters where they're from. They could be from, the hometown of where you are. It could be that you're getting players from across the country, overseas, but they just got to buy in. That's what it's about. They got to buy in. They got to lock in. They got to want to win. And they need to be committed. They got to be committed. And these days, so many portal players, it makes me wonder who's really committed. But hey, like the video, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the video. Like, share, subscribe. It's RC, and I'm out of here.